Okay, so I'm Professor Bleckerman. I'm the advisor for the minor in finance at Tandon. It is a cross-school minor, which means that it's open to students in all NYU schools. My purpose today is to give you an overview of the requirements of the minor, a discussion of the prerequisites necessary to begin the minor, a look at what may be coming a year from now in the fall of 2021 when the minor is probably going to be redesigned, and then two sets of questions. One will be the questions that you asked when you signed up for this Zoom meeting. I will try to get to some of them during the talk, and the rest of them I'll address explicitly after we talk about the proposed new curriculum. And then also, if at the end you have additional questions, you can unmute yourself at that time or chat at that time and ask the question and we'll answer it. It's really that easy. If you have a question along the way, the best thing to do is to chat it at me. I'm sharing bandwidth with a high school student and two college students here at home, and I have my video off. So, I mean, you can see me, but I'm not taxing my Wi-Fi here by looking at the video. I'm only looking at my slides. So you can either chat, I'll see a chat pop up, or you can just unmute yourself and talk if that's what you want to do. I'm very comfortable either way. All right, I see the chat doing his thing. I'm happy to answer questions anytime. All right, so let's get started. So as a bit of background, this is what the minor looks like right now. There are 3 required courses. I may have the names a little bit wrong, but this is how I think of them. There's FIN-UI, Finance Undergraduate. Y stands for Tandon. I do not know why. 2003 is Economic Foundations of Finance. 2103 is Financial Statements. 2203 is Corporate Finance. They're required. And to complete the minor, you need 2 advanced courses at the 3000 or 4000 level for of the FRE and UI sequence. That's pretty straightforward. How often are these courses offered? Well, the 3 core courses, these here that I'm circling with my pointer, are offered every semester. And in the advanced courses, there are about 5 different advanced courses, including one that's a special topics that can be whatever we need it to be. And in the past, we'd offered 1 advanced course every semester. The demand among the students for this minor and for the advanced courses has grown, and now we're offering, starting soon, 2 advanced courses every single semester. In fact, this semester we have 2 advanced courses. And that's new, and we're happy to do it. Why do we do this? We do this not for money. We do this, and it's going to sound corny, but we kind of do it for love. We, as a department, don't have an undergraduate degree. We only have a grad degree, a Master of Science in Financial Engineering. And after a number of years of offering that grad degree, we realized that we were missing out on half the life of the university. That undergraduates are kind of fun to teach and interesting people. You know, grad students know what they want out of life, and they tend to be very focused and laser sharp on exactly what they're looking for. And undergrads tend to be explorers, and they bring all sorts of really different perspectives to a classroom, and it's kind of fun to teach undergrads. Also, we wanted to, truthfully, we wanted to have some visibility in the undergrad world to let you all know that we exist. And we don't really get any credit from Tandon or the university for doing this, nor do we get any funding for doing this, but it's important to us. So that's that. Okay, so how do the prerequisites work? Okay, so first, and I'm going to jump back and forth between slides slowly. So first, if you're a sophomore and you have one semester of calculus under your belt, there are two courses that you have met the prerequisites for, 2003 and 2103. So that's Econ Foundations of Finance and Financial Statements. Okay, so these two here, one semester of calculus and sophomore standing. Now, why sophomore standing? Why do we require students to have basically 31 credits earned? It's not that you have to be a sophomore having been at Tandon for your second year. You have to have 31 credits earned. Originally, the requirement was that you had to have finished both expository writing courses, because we really want students to be able to express themselves as well as do math. So the EW courses were required. Then we started making this a cross-school minor available to Steinhardt students and Tisch students and CAS students and Stern students and whoever. I'm sure I missed somebody big. Gallatin students. And when we did that, some of them only have one semester of expository writing required, and some have two. And so we tried to phrase the prerequisite to be one semester if you're in this school and 2 semesters if you're in these schools, and Albert barfed. Albert couldn't handle that. And so the way that we make sure that students have had some exposure to being able to express themselves in an organized way is we ask for sophomore standing. If a student comes to us as a freshman and they say, hey, look, I don't have 31 credits yet, but this is important to me. Yeah, we can take care of that. We can take care of that. So long as they can prove by expressing themselves clearly that they're ready. All right, so back to prerequisites. So for 2203, you need a little more. 2203 is corporate finance. And for our corporate finance course, you need to have 2 semesters of calculus and a course in probability. Now, there's lots of different calculus at Tandon. There's 2 different calculuses at Tandon. There's at least 2 I know of at the Square. There's math for economists, and there's whatever Courant offers, and all of it's okay. Okay? All of it's okay. We need you to be able to differentiate and integrate in a way that, well, here's the deal. You know, when a professor is standing in front of a class and the professor looks out as they're doing some math on the whiteboard, and right now I can't do it because none of your cameras are on, and that's fine. There's 2 looks that you can see in the eyes of students that are awake. If a student is awake, it's either, yeah, where is this going? And that's the look we want to see. We want to see, we're doing a little bit of calculus on the board, we're applying it to a real world problem, and we want to see in your eyes, yeah, I got that. Where are you taking me? Okay, where's the destination? And the other look you can see in students' eyes is, yeah, what are you doing? And we found that unless you've got 2 semesters of calc and some probability understanding under your belt, we get the second look far too often in corporate finance course. There are a number of probability courses at Tandon. There's one for double E's, there's one for BTM students, there's the general math 2224, data analysis. They're all okay. Okay, they're all fine. And the ones at the Square are all fine too. Okay, and then finally, 2203, corporate finance, serves as the gatekeeper for the advanced courses. And some of the advanced courses require some of the other stuff also on a case-by-case basis, but for the most part, it is true that once you get through corporate finance, the door is unlocked to the advanced courses. All right, everybody okay with that? Yes, no? Can you hear me? Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me, or a yes in the chat box. Okay, I've got some chat. Good. Thank you. Good, 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 good. Okay. So that's the minor. That's what it looks like. Okay. What's it going to look like? Well, before I get to what it's going to look like, let me explain, please, the pressure on us to evolve. Um, so, with a structure of 5 3-credit courses, we run into two problems with the way Tandon's curriculum has evolved over the last few years. First, Tandon's curriculum is full of 3 and 4-credit courses. And when you offer a 3-credit course and a program says, okay, you've got a 4-credit free elective, well, the 3-credit course isn't very attractive. It's like, okay, I've got 4 credits of elective here, whether it's free elective or a minor or social science or whatever. A 3-credit course doesn't cut it. And students don't like 3-credit courses when they need a 4-credit course. Now, if you need a 3-credit course and we're offering a 4-credit course, well, all right, so it's a 1-credit overload. That's not the end of the world. It's not great. Having 4 credits when you need 3 is not great, but it's a hell of a lot better than having 3 credits when you need 4. So, okay, so that's one pressure. And the second pressure is having students pick 5 courses to fulfill a minor means that they've got to find 5 different times when courses don't conflict with the requirements of their major. And a lot of majors at Tandon have courses in the junior and senior year that have one section, right? If you're going to take fluid mechanics as a mechie, right, you might have a choice between 2 sections and you might not. You might have to take fluid mechanics at this time on this day. And our minor is like that too. You know, we've got one section of each of the required courses offered each semester. And so we run into collisions when a student wants to finish the minor and that 5th course in their 7th semester as a student doesn't fit in their schedule. And it's very frustrating for absolutely everybody involved, including me. And so we have decided to solve both of these problems, or solve is the wrong word, to mitigate both of these problems by going to a new design a year from now, fall 2021, where we're going to have 4 courses and each will be 4 credits. There'll be 2 required in some sense and 2 advanced in some sense. And it may be that the required will be 2 from a list of 3 or 2 from a list of 4. It may be that the advanced, well, we know that the advanced courses are going to change somewhat. We're going to start more heavily leveraging the math talent that we have in our professors. You know, financial engineering as a degree is basically highly applied mathematics. And so we're going to start leaning into that. You know, that's who we are. So you might as well lean into who you are. You know, no reason to shy away from it. We're going to start using that and leveraging that more in our advanced courses launching in a year. Why is everything to be determined, TBD? Because I kind of owe it to the faculty to show them first, and they haven't seen it yet. It's sort of being discussed by myself and the department head in financial engineering, financial risk engineering. And when that clears, then we'll talk about it inside our department. And when that clears, we'll talk about it among all the Tandon faculty, and then we'll make a big announcement to the students. And Yusuf says, how would this change affect the courses credits we'll already have taken by fall 2021? That's a brilliant question. And the reason I know it's brilliant is because that's my next slide. So you've either you can read all the way on the left on your screen, the really tiny writing there, or you are really smart and you knew what I was going to do next. And so this, what happens if I'm halfway finished and the curriculum changes, and I'm going to tack in the words, this is flexible at this time, right? So right now, this is what we're thinking about. This is not hard and fast, it's written in concrete and dried and finished, right? But generally, a minor at Tandon is 14 to 17 credits. So generally, if you finish 3 credits, 12 more makes 15. That's cool. If you finished 6 credits when things change and you take 8 more, that's 14. That's cool. If you finish 9 credits and you take 8 more, that's 17. That's cool. And if you've taken 12 credits and you take 4 more, that's 16 and you're finished. So the goal is to hit the 14 to 17 credit target. The old curriculum is 15, the new curriculum would be 16. I hope that addresses the question. I realize it's not exactly something that you can take to the bank and count as a guarantee, but that's the thinking behind the answer to your question. Okay, so let's back up. Okay, Jacqueline, what if you start the track this semester? You can start it this semester, use the system that's in place. There's never a guarantee that a new curriculum is going to be approved by the faculty at Tandon. I've seen a couple things come up and get sent down. So start things this semester. The most important thing is to learn. And so take courses that interest you, take things that are intellectually exciting. And if you start this semester, great, I'll see you on Zoom. And that's not a problem. And the next question was already answered. And this semester and next semester, we work on the old schedule. Yeah, so this semester and next semester are going to use this design. And if things get approved, fall 21, we wind up in this design. So which of the 3 would be required for us to take to required next year? I don't think it matters. I think that you're dealing with a department in finance and risk engineering that's small, where we get to know all the students in the major and the minor, and we'll take care of you. If you in good faith embark upon this path, we in good faith are going to help you complete the path as best that we can. So my advice would be, which courses should you take? Take things that you find compelling. Take things that you find compelling. I can't say more because I really don't know how it's all going to shake out in the end. And that's what I'm going to say. Okay. So now the next question goes to the BTM folks out there. So let's go back here for a second. If you've taken BTM courses, whether you're a BTM major or not, okay, here's how we view the BTM courses. Understand that we have a pretty good understanding of the BTM courses because Technology Management Department and Financial Engineering Department used to be one department a long time ago. I remember those days, and I was a professor in that department. So yeah, I'm not a young man. I got a college kid. So this Econ Foundations of Finance, okay? BTM has an econ course. It's not the same. The econ course in BTM overlaps with ours enough that we would say, all right, instead of taking our econ course, which you actually can't take, Albert will block you if you've already had the BTM econ course. Instead of taking our econ course, substitute a 3rd advanced course instead of that, okay? The financial statements course, BTM has an equivalent version of that. I believe it's Management 2204. No, that's corporate finance. Management 2004, something like that. And that course counts for the minor. That's just fine. The minor, the course in BTM, no problem. The corporate finance course, that's ours. The BTM course does not work for us. It is not calculus based enough. It does not go deep enough. But the advanced corporate finance course in BTM would count for the minor. So if you're a BTM person and you follow the normal BTM track, what you wind up doing is taking these two courses, the second and the third, okay, and then 3 advanced courses in finance.
Wait, so sorry, can I build in really quick?
Yeah, one sec. Let me finish the sentence, okay? You have to take, to complete the minor, you have to take at least, at the way it's written now, at least 9 credits in FinUY courses. There's no way around that one. So we couldn't even credit the econ course for BTM people anyway, because that would leave 6 credits of Fin, and that wouldn't cut the requirement for what's called residency. There's always a residency requirement in every program. So these two, not these two, sorry, this one and these two are substitutable. This one by the accounting course in BTM and this one by the advanced corporate finance course in BTM. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, no, that's perfect. That's what I was asking. So like this semester, I'm taking special topics with Coley, investment banking and private equity, I think. That's one of the 2 fin courses, right? So I would have to take 3 to
Yep,
qualify. Okay,
yep.
so is there one of it, like if my whole question is if I take that class this semester, I feel like I might as well continue with the minor because I have a year left after. So in the
Mhm.
following semester, I could take another 3,000 scores. But then the whole thing is that third semester, that September 2021, I guess, would I still be able to take a 3.1 class, or would it have to be a 4 class?
So it'd have to be a 4 class. You'd have 13 credits at that point. Tandon doesn't recognize a minor with 13 credits. No, I'm sorry,
Okay.
you'd have 12 credits at that point. Right. So Tandon doesn't recognize a minor with 12 credits.
Okay. Because I'm just trying to figure that out then. Do you know if they offer maybe 2 next semester?
Yeah, so
2,
that's
3
the other
after?
alternative is if you can fit them in your schedule, we will have 2 upper level courses in the spring of 2021.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, and do
Okay.
I have to apply or does it just do I finish the courses?
Sorry.
Do I have to apply to make this a minor or do
Ah,
I?
okay. So there is an application. It's a common application across all NYU, all schools, to apply for a minor. At some point before graduation, you have to go online and fill out the online form for graduation, for the minor. Sorry. Um, Once you do that, uh, it's when you apply for graduation, your advisors have to say, yeah, they finished the requirements. Um, and I have to do that too at some point. When you graduate, I'll have to go in and say, yeah, they ticked off all the boxes. Um, but we don't have a say as to who signs up for the minor and who doesn't sign up for the minor. You know, it's entirely up to you. As an NYU student, it's your privilege to do this. So you won't need to get any signatures, is what I'm saying. So if you go, let me find the right page and I'll share it. Okay, so there's a cross schools minor page. If you Google NYU cross school minors, this is where you'll get. And here's the online minor application. And here's some recent, this is a Tandon minor, you know. And if you want a double minor or triple minor, so long as your major advisor says you've got room in your schedule, feel free. Yeah, so Tandon's been busy with minors. Um, so yeah, cross school minors alphabetically, and you can see here we are. Okay, and it redirects to the bulletin page for the minor. Good?
And we just have to do this our final semester. It doesn't have to be
No,
done.
you can do. I've seen freshmen do it. You can do it anytime you want.
Oh, so you can apply now and it'll like end up on your transcript even if you're not done with it.
Yeah, if you, I believe it pops up just under where your major shows up on your transcript every semester. So yeah, I've seen freshmen apply for a minor. I've seen freshmen apply for a minor and then 2 weeks later remove it. That's not a big deal either. And I've seen seniors apply for a minor 3 weeks before graduation, and that's okay too. It does stress out the administration a little bit, but that's their problem. And we have in the chat that, yeah, so that's the deal. So if you apply for a minor, you don't graduate unless you either finish the major and the minor or finish the major and drop the minor. So you got to do it. If you decide not to finish the minor, you run into some bureaucratic hassles if you don't remove the minor by filling out the same exact form and just saying, take it away. So, you know, remember to clean up the mess you leave behind and everything will be cool. All right. Okay. So let's segue into the questions that were asked during the sign up time. And there's a list of them here on slide 8. And then on slide 9 basically says, what more do you want to talk about? So questions asked. What about courses taken outside FIN-UI? And I wrote down Stern, BTM, etc. Okay. So you need 9 credits in FIN-UI. Anything else, so long as it's approved, can be outside finance. Outside Tandon. Outside, let's say that again. It could be outside my department. So we've talked about BTM, and we can also talk about Stern. Stern is a bit of a pain about students taking Stern courses sometimes, but there are Stern courses in their finance group that we would count. How do we decide what counts in the Stern course? If it uses math, calculus, then we'll count it. We're a mathematically oriented group of people, and the minor in finance is a mathematically oriented thing that was originally designed for engineers and computer scientists. And Stern does have a bunch of stuff that requires calculus, and they also have a bunch of stuff that doesn't. And the stuff that doesn't is some of it's wonderful stuff. It's just not appropriate for a minor that has the title that it comes from the School of Engineering. All right. I'm going to move, unless I see a chat or I hear an interruption, I'm going to just go from one question to the next. I'm happy to see chat and to be interrupted. What courses count towards humanities, social science requirements? So right now, the answer is this one, and only this one. Okay. And the reason that only this one counts is that the state of New York says that economics is a social science, and they're right. I happen to be an economist by training. Econ's a social science. Accounting is not a social science. Accounting is not the study of how people behave in society. That's what a social science is. Corporate finance is applied mathematics. It's finance. It's not a social science. And pretty much everything we do up here is applied mathematics. So just this one. Will that change in the new curriculum? I suspect it will not. I suspect that if the new curriculum has an econ course, I suspect it will. If it has an econ course, the econ course will have 2 features. One, it'll be focused towards understanding finance, and 2, it will count as a social science course. Can I double major and minor in finance? Can I double minor? Can I triple minor? How do I integrate this into my course plan, you know, NYU Albert academic planner kind of thing? Well, planner understands the minor and the rules of the minor. So if you declare the minor, it's there. Can you double minor? Can you double major in minor? All of this is something that I can't answer. This is for your major advisor to tell you. Your major advisor knows how much slack there is. I don't mean slack as in you're a slacker. I mean slack in the operations research sense of the word. Um, Looseness, lack of tension, unconstrained choice, degrees of freedom if you've taken stat already, data analysis. Uh, Only your major advisor knows how much room there is for an additional minor in the curriculum that you've chosen for your major. And so I'm going to refer you to your major advisor for that. Are there specializations within the minor? No. The minor is specialized. The minor is specialized as an applied mathematics course of study, uh, highly applied mathematics. In other words, I'm not going to teach new math to any of you. And I'm not going to use math for the sake of math. I'm not going to tell you that math is beautiful and math is elegant and math should be studied for its own sake. Um, there's lots of professors like that, and I respect them. Math is a tool. Math is a screwdriver, or better than a screwdriver, it's a set of screwdrivers or a set of wrenches, and it can help you engineer something. And that's our specialization. Now, if on your resume you write something like, I had a major in mathematical finance, or I had a major in finance / applied math, or whatever, nobody is going to yell at you from my department. Okay? How you market yourself is fine with me. If you'd say you had a major in finance at Tandon School of Engineering, sooner or later that'll catch up to you. You know, you'll become linked in with me or with another professor or with somebody to look at your background, and somebody will snag you in the long run. But you know, what you call the minor on your resume, fine with me. Does the minor stand alone, or is it tied to the financial engineering program? Okay, so when I'm answering, this is actually was asked in a couple of different ways by a couple of different people, and I'm rewording it to try to answer it all at once. So the minor stands alone. You can have a minor and never be a master's student in financial engineering. You can be a master's student in financial engineering without ever having taken a finance course before in your life. The two things are partitioned fully. So that's the best answer I've got. Is computer science knowledge required? No, but. So there's an asterisk here, or should be. So you can get through the minor without CS. But we know that most of our students are Tandon students, and they're going to have had some sort of programming experience. And truth be told, if you graduate from Tandon, more people, if you look at the graduates from Tandon, okay, right, and you group the graduates by the industry that they go to work for. This is for the students who don't go on to PhDs or master's degrees or government or something like that. If you take the people who are seniors who graduate and you put them into groups by the type of company they work for, okay, more Tandon students go to work for Wall Street type companies than any other type of company. It's not half, it's less than half for sure, but it's the largest group, okay? And the one thing that Wall Street is looking for now on top of finance knowledge is the ability to code. Okay, you don't have to be a CS major, you don't have to have a minor in CS, but you damn well have to think like a programmer. You can get through this minor without CS knowledge. Absolutely, you can get through the 3 core courses with no CS. You can choose the 2 advanced courses to avoid any programming. It's not hard to do that at all. But when we offer a course called data analysis in finance, or special topics that we tried to offer this year called machine learning in finance, but we had to withdraw it because the professor is stuck in a country that he cannot leave. And so hopefully we'll get that one launched in the spring. when you have this ability to code and apply that coding to finance, it's really worth something in the marketplace today, marketplace for employees. Okay, so there are two other minors that have a sort of tangential relationship to us. One is the minor in econ, arts and sciences, and the minor in business studies in Stern. And how is this different? And the answer is this is finance. Okay, econ. Econ is not finance, and finance is not econ, but econ is sort of the grandparent of finance. Econ came first. Econ is the study of how people make decisions that are good for them, buying things or not buying things, spending their money, and how firms make decisions about what to produce, how much of it to produce, and what price to charge for it. Finance takes all of those same ideas and turns them into the world of investments. For people, it's what do I invest rather than what do I purchase to make myself happy, or do I save my money and purchase something later? Finance says, do I spend my money now or invest it? And when I invest it, what do I invest it in? And when do I invest it? At what age? At what life point in life? What drives me to invest or to spend? And when I'm investing, is it real estate? Is it bonds? Is it stocks? Is it something else? So they're different. Business studies at Stern is Stern sort of said, oh, I guess we have to have a minor. It's an interesting group of things. It's very general. It's sort of like a mini intro to being an MBA. So if you've ever looked at any of the curricula for the master's programs at Tandon, most of them are 30 credits. A couple of them, like ours, are 33. You'll see that every single course is inside the department, right? If you study financial engineering, you study 33 credits of financial engineering. Yeah, you can go outside the department for one or two things, but for the most part, the students are financial engineering students. Like I said in the beginning, they know what they want, and that's what they want. If you study double E, 30 credits, electrical engineering, master's degree. An MBA at Stern or any other top MBA program, an MBA is going to be a 2-year program where you have 2 semesters of marketing and 1 semester of operations and 1 semester of law and a semester of econ and a semester of finance and, oh God, a semester of stats. And then you're on top of all of that, you might have 4 elective courses in your second year, 2 in each semester in your chosen area. So basically, an MBA with finance is a very, very generalist degree. It's a general degree with 3 credits of required finance and usually 12 credits out of 54 or 60. Total of 15 credits will be finance and the rest will be general business studies. And so Stern has this minor that's business studies, which is sort of a tour of the various areas that make up what an MBA would make up after you graduate your undergrad degree and go for an MBA. So that's very different from finance. The finance minor is all finance. Business studies is marketing, operations, leadership, management strategy, operations, statistics, accounting, all of those things. Okay. Deadlines. Anytime you want, you can apply for the minor. I have seen it be as late as the last week in April before graduation. That the couple of students who did that, we had to make the administration scramble to get it onto their records, but it happened. Can undergrads, last question that was asked previously is, can undergraduates take graduate financial engineering courses? And the answer is no, with one exception. And the reason the answer is no is that there's a lot that's required beyond what the minor requires for us to take a master's candidate. For someone to enter into the minor, if you've got a B+ in Calc 1 and a C+ in Calc 2, you'll be okay. For someone to enter into one of our master's courses, you probably need to have an A or an A- in Calc 1, Calc 2, multivariable, PDE, data analysis, computer programming. You need to probably have an A or an A- across the board in all of those courses. The exception that we make is that if an undergrad is in the BS-MS program, right? And that's something that Tandon administers in the dean's office. If you apply for the BS-MS program and you get admitted because you've got the grades and you've got the desire and you want to take, even if you take the master's degree in electrical engineering, if your EE,
Can I ask a separate question and just all that?
of course.
How do you apply for the BS-MS?
So there's a, so that process is owned by the dean's office. The person in charge of that process is a nice, real kind human being named Jen Piro, Jenpiro. And you should reach out to her. And they have a website that lays out the rules and the timing. But if you have an interest, you should absolutely have a chat with Jen, and she'll walk you through what's required.
Can you tell me her email really quick?
I wish I had it handy. Let me take a quick look.
Thank you.
I will post a link to the chat, to the page where there is information about the BSMS and also a link to the application.
Okay, Carmen. So, Jacqueline, Carmen's going to put into the chat. Carmen and Jen are on this Zoom. They're co-workers with me in financial engineering, and they're extremely useful people. So Carmen's going to drop into the chat a link to Jen. You're going to put Jen Piro's email address into the chat, Carmen?
I have it available, actually. I can paste it right now.
Okay, just super. Beautiful. So,
okay, so
Jacqueline,
I posted the link.
Jacqueline, do you see you see it in the chat? You see what you need?
Yes, awesome. Thank you.
Great.
You're welcome.
All right. Are there other follow? Here's more chat. If one is interested in, okay, so that's a great question. So if you're interested in the BSMS and you're interested in taking financial engineering, do I recommend taking the finance minor? Okay. So the population of the master's students that we have is basically three pretty equal groups of demographic students, three equally sized demographics. There we go. And each one has a strength, okay? About a third of the students we get are from undergraduate degrees in EE or MECE or CompE, a little bit of civil, a little bit of chemical, a little bit of aeronautical. And a little bit of physics majors and chem majors and bio majors. And all of them can think like engineers. They can see a problem, they can apply math, and they can create a solution to that problem, and they can know, for example, my favorite example is a civil engineer will always put, when they build a bridge, they'll always put a sign on the side of the bridge that says, if your truck weighs more than so many tons, you'd be stupid to drive across this bridge. The load limit of the bridge is XYZ. They're in the elevators in Rogers Hall, because Rogers Hall used to be a razor factory back 100 years ago, believe it or not. There are still signs that tell you what the load limit, the industrial load limit of the elevator is in Rogers Hall. So the engineers come with this ability to think like engineers, and that's a real strength in the financial engineering program. You've got math, another third is mathematicians and computer scientists and applied math and people who can basically rock the math side of things, and that's their strength. And the third group of students that we get are people who did undergraduate majors in finance and statistics and econ, and that's pretty much it. And they understand the application better than anyone else at the start. And so what we do is we have this required boot camp in the summer that's just finishing up now, in the summer before students start, and everybody gets to sort of work on the areas that they haven't worked on before. And students get grouped into teams where, you know, the way it's supposed to work at least is that there's a little bit of strength in each area on each team. So if you take the minor and you're, let's say, a CS major or you're an engineer, yeah, it will help you understand the application, and it'll help prepare you certainly for being a master's student in financial engineering, but by no means is it necessary. So do I recommend the minor? That's a harder question. I can tell you what the advantages are. The disadvantages are, if you're going to take master's level courses anyway, if you're sure of it and you take the minor, you're taking the minor instead of taking something else that's intellectually interesting to you. You only get to be an undergraduate once usually. That'd be a hard thing to recommend. On the other hand, if you're not sure if you want to be a financial engineer as your master's degree, and you want to take a course or two in FinUI to make sure that you're doing the right thing, then absolutely I'd recommend you take a course or two just to make sure you're doing the right thing. I hope that begins to answer your question. Yeah, okay. Are there other questions? Good. Okay, I'm glad, Hayden. Are there other questions? Okay, so you can see my email address in the chat on the screen. I'm dropping it in the chat. Okay, so that you can cut and paste it if you want to. I'm happy to answer questions by email. I'm happy to answer questions by Zoom. I don't know if you know this, but all professor office hours in the fall, we got the word this week, are going to be Zoom office hours. There's really no way that NYU wants, and forgive me for if you feel insulted by this, but NYU doesn't want a 20-something who may have been out hanging out with friends in the room with I'm not 72, but some professors are. They don't want them in a small office with a 72-year-old professor in the age of coronavirus. So all office hours are Zoom. I'm already having Zoom office hours for returning students and incoming students. I'd be happy to have Zoom office hours with you guys too. All right. Any last questions? Okay, Jen, if you could stop the recording. Everybody, it's lovely meeting with you on this Tuesday morning. I hope that you stay safe. This isn't anything to fool around with. I don't know if you've seen the news, but the University of North Carolina